Hello and welcome to a 3v3 cast on Estia Province. Starting off we have Sentinel Enforcer playing as the Lord Commissar on the contested VP side. We have Tharx Gamma in mid playing as the Commando Knob in the center of the map, and finally Anti-Seed playing as the Warp Spider Exarch, finishing off for the blue team lineup. Moving on to the red side we have Great Cornholio playing as the Lord General here, and we have Hunter in the center of the map, and finally we have B.I.A. playing as the Chaos Lord. Before starting this game, I actually want to mention one thing. If you have any replays you want to send, be sure to send them in to bbboscasts@gmail.com. There's a link in the description if you want to send in replays for games to be casted or replays to go to top plays. I don't actually have any top plays replays, so hence this message. Already a bit of action in mid, Orc versus Orc action. Sluggers are fighting each other. A Slugger Boy squad is actually going to go down, but it might be traded off here for a Slugger Boy squad. Hunter trading Sluggers for shooters here. These Sluggers getting a little bit caught out here. The Mekboy is going to push forward, and Mekboy going to struggle against Commando Knob here. The burst from the Commando Knob is going to be quite devastating in this matchup. Mekboy is remaining behind green cover, but the Commando Knob going to tie up that Mekboy in melee combat. Meanwhile up here there are some Banshees getting forced off by some double heretics here. The Chaos Lord also on the retreat path of the Banshees. Could see a kill to weak since Chaos Lord is on the correct path. Decides to just go in for a regular melee hit, but his weapon not doing too much damage there. Chaos Lord does have power melee, so is more effective against heavy infantry in comparison to infantry, although it's still doing some decent damage to infantry. But, on the other side though, we have a multi-last turret here for Corn, along with a Sentinel. It's actually an IG mirror on this left hand side, same with the Orc mirror in mid. Two kind of mirror lanes here, but Sentinel is actually trying to come around to the side here, focusing down the guardsman. Sentinel v Sentinel. Corn Sentinel is focusing down the enemy Sentinel, which is getting repaired up here by Sentinel Enforcer. Saying the word Sentinel so many times, and Heretics already upgraded with the aspiring champion here, and Ari getting a little bit caught out here as he does get flanked in by Tharx Gamma, and the Heretics are going to be backing away from the fight. Sluggers desperately trying to chase down these Heretics, going to be unable to finish off the squad. Going to try and get as many models as possible. Meanwhile Hunter is actually going to be helping Corn out on the side. Some Sluggers are going to kind of turn away actually. The Sluggers probably going in and engage that Lord Commissar, maybe even go in for these guardsmen, but the Commissar going in a little bit too deep here will get forced off in the end. Sentinel getting the stomp upgrade for Sentinel Enforcer does give it an extra 100 HP, does give it that bit of extra tankiness, and will be very useful against these Sluggers. Or even from a Lord General trying to melee down your guardsman. Sentinel is going to go in and go for a stomp and smash that Lord General into the ground, and some spots is going to be a really nice choice in this IG mirror. The smoke shell reducing the range of enemy units, along with the along with the artillery shell, to actually knock units forward. What you want to do with the artillery shell most of the time, if you're going to go in for a push, you want to do it slightly behind them, so it knocks the units towards your army, so you can have an easier time focusing it down. Or if you're trying to pull back a little bit against enemy units chasing you, you do it slightly in front of them, so it knocks them further back and allows you to have a nicer escape. The Slugger's going to be engaging here. The Mekboy teleporting away to safety, and Slugger v Sluggers here, but it looks like Hunter Sluggers are going to be decimating Tharx Sluggers, but Idaka lost that ability, coming in, stopping these Sluggers in the tracks, preventing them from being able to chase. And it's a really odd retreat path, actually having to run through the army there, and actually Hunter is forced off overall completely. His Mekboy barely escaping away there, and Heavy Weapons team sitting next to that multi-last turret, going to be able to hold that VP for quite some time. However, the power is vulnerable, and Tharx Gamma is taking advantage of this and actually starting to destroy it as we speak. Meanwhile, on the other side, some Dire Avengers coming in for the flank. They do have the aspects of the Avenger, so we could see some retreat grenades, especially on this Heretic squad that is getting suppressed. They retreat away, some grenades are going to go down, but going to hit the CSM squad. Very painful grenades there, taking out a model, surprisingly. Not taking out even more than that, but a grenade was somewhat dodged at the last second, or was moved out of the way. If the Ari did not move whatsoever, that would probably been a dead CSM squad overall, and Havocs are going to be setting up here. I'm not sure about the Havoc's choice, given that he's up against the Warp Spider here. The Warp Spider is extremely good at interrupting Havocs, being able to just teleport in and having some decent melee skills, so actually you have the chance to land specials against the opponent. I believe the Warp Spider does have a 60 melee skill, Havocs and Devastators only having 50. The Warp Spider can definitely land specials against them, even if the Devastators or Havocs do have 60 melee skill. The Warp Spider can definitely have a chance to land specials against them, and the special is quite strong. It's actually a 360 degree special, I believe. And here the Mekboy can actually interrupt this heavy weapons team if he just teleports in. Very aggressive here. Just still deciding to keep back for some reason. Looks like he might go in for the teleport now, but actually waiting for the looters to just unset up here and force them off like so. Guardsmen are very split up here. The sergeant is all the way at the front there, and the rest of the guardmen are trailing behind. The Mekboy very useful again at a teleporting commander who can just teleport onto a setup team and interrupt them, where the Mekboy not having any specials, unlike the Warp Spider. Still, just forcing them to unset up or to tear down is enough for your forces to actually just push in through. And Sentinel and Force are going to be the first person to tier 2, 389 VPs to 500. The Sentinel is getting a little bit low here, does get some repair support. These Flaming Guardsmen might struggle to actually do anything here. With the Flamers, they do have reduced ranged. Then Flamers not having the same amount of range, but some Sluggers with Hide the Boys coming in here onto these shooters. They do retreat away in time. These Slugs are now revealed. Tharx go going a bit hard here. Does have the knife on the Commando Knob. Can use the triple shot to stun the unit. Can even try and go in for the Assassinator here onto the Mekboy. Triple shot does stun the unit, and there you go onto the Mekboy. He's down to 275 HP. The Assassinate ability does 250 flat amounts of damage. Mekboy decides to teleport away to safety, but the Slugs and the Commando Knob here are so low. They will most likely be going down. Sponsor Shell is going to come down, but the Sluggers are going to die in the end. The Lord General looks like he may even fall, but he is going to reinforce on the field here. In fact, no, he doesn't actually get the reinforcement because he is retreating away. Mekboy sitting behind some yellow cover is not going to be enough, and Mekboy is forced off. This multi-blast turret is going to go down here. Flaming Guardsman will easily be able to burn it down, and then can follow up by burning down this war banner. Could even follow up with a generator bash here. Orks are already on the scene here with the double shooters. Looters going to be setting up that Mekboy. Could even go down. I think if the Shooter Boy Knob leader was to focus him down, he would have gone down a bit sooner. Shooter Boy Knob is actually very good in melee against other ranged units, that is. It does do 23 melee DPS, which is quite a lot for a ranged unit. It's more than what a tactical marine would do. It's actually on par to what a strike squad model does in melee, with the exception of having less melee skill and no special attack. Heavy weapons team and guardsmen set up, but a stun bomb is getting thrown down here, and a flare on top of it as well. These guardsmen with reduced range, we're focusing down at Lord Commissar because he is so close to them. These guardsmen are unable to fire back against the enemy guardsmen or against the enemy shooters, with this flare sitting directly on top of them. It's a very aggressive play here for blue team. They're actually able to take down the entire generator farm. Sentinel and Forcer, Lord Commissar getting away there. Sentinel and Forcer should probably just back everything away, and same for the Orks as well. Tharx is going to be left alone, but at the same time B.I.A on the opposite side of the map is able to take down the power away from Anti-Seed here, equalizing the game so far. But the VPs are very low, or starting to get a bit low here for blue team. 322 VPs to 500. Red team not losing a single VP so far in this game. Sentinel though getting big powerful blocks here onto the Guardsmen. Guardsmen are desperately trying to go in for the repair, but the Stormtroopers burst damage. Just too much coming in. And these Stormtroopers are going to be able to hold their ground here against the Guardsmen. Stormtroopers are elite infantry in comparison to Guardsmen, who are just regular infantry. The Stormtroopers are going to infiltrate and pull back. Some nice use there from the Stormtroopers. But blue team look like they might be able to finally bleed red team off some VPs here once this Commando Knob gets the cap, and if blue team can remain holding on to that contested VP, they'll start to peel back their lead, or peel back their deficit. But the Warp Spider coming in with the improved Warp Generator, the group teleport ability, very useful, although it can be a bit difficult to actually pull off. Against Chaos it's actually okay, but the Grenade Launcher Heretics could prove a problem. A well-placed Grenade Barrage on top of the area we're going to group teleport on can be devastating, knock back all your units before you're able to do anything, before you're able to dodge. But even worse for races who actually do have grenades. Since when you group teleport, it does give a little indicator on the ground, a little blue circle to say this is where the enemy is going to group teleport. You can prepare and counter against it. Grenade Launcher Heretics, Scouts with their grenade, Dire Avengers with a plasma grenade, all examples of ways that you can be countered. Even a weird boy in Orks for tier 2 can be quite difficult to deal when you can use a Foot of Gork ability, which is really well timed. But a Warp Vomit though, going to come in onto these double shooters here. This weird boy does need to be careful. The Commando Knob is going to go in, but the Commando Knob is just taking so much damage. Will just fall down here. His mid is so close to that Kaboom upgrade. Not that that would have helped him in that engagement, but it's just resources tied up with the dead Commando Knob. A Falcon is out in the field. Warp Spider going to melee down this Blood Crusher. Will struggle to actually fight it one-on-one. With Heretics here to provide worship support, this soft AV is not going to be enough to finish off this Blood Crusher. Banshees. The aspects of fleetness rather than the aspects of strength here as well. That's less heavy melee. That needs to take down the Blood Crusher. In fact, Ari really needs to just start worshipping and protect that Blood Crusher. The Blood Crusher could easily remain in the fight with worship support against both the Falcon and that Wolf Spider. Got waited too late, in fact. The Chaos Space Marines are so low, 20 HP, that Falcon is backing away, the autocannon is tearing things up, but Tharx Gamma coming in here is going to be able to take down that CS7 squad. And a Weird Boy shot coming in here, him getting rear armor hit onto that truck, very painful. This truck needs to start moving now, otherwise it will get taken out by that Weird Boy, but the shot blocker coming in is not going to be able to, not going to allow him to take it down. Another Weird Boy shot though, it looks like it was ground targeted though. Meanwhile, IG versus IG is just a 1v1 now on the side as both players are starting to group up towards the center of the map. There's going to be an autocannon heavy weapons team here for Korn, but getting hit by that flare. Range is reduced, but range now going back to normal. That Lord General is so low and is going to get forced off with a melter gun. Does have a very short range and does need to get a bit closer to the combat and also make use of it. Looter's setup here. Looter's quite annoying to actually deal with, given that they have 750 HP of infantry armor. Not anything they can really do. Not any type damage types. I'll do bonus damage to infantry with the exception of flames, I believe. But the war truck has actually gone down. This unit is actually stuck here. And they can't actually retreat, but they can fire back. But very unfortunate though for Tharx Gamma, that truck going down, and the fact that his Shooter Boy squad is also going to go down and is just stuck. And to be like kind, you might as well just kill it because it's just costing the opponent upkeep, or you could just leave it up there for the remainder of the game and it's going to suck up upkeep and population. At the same time, it also grants vision. They could pretty bash the power with the shooters. They do or should have the range to go in. And very quick Leman Russ here for Sentinel Force. He's the first person to tier 3 by miles and already with a tank out on the field. Bearing in mind, he did go for a very light tier 2 of only going for Stormtroopers, which only cost Requisition. A nice grenade onto the Chimera of the Leman Russ coming in with that shot. The Sentinel barely remaining alive somehow, 39 HP. The Sentinel game path blocked on the Leman Russ and the Leman game path blocked on the Sentinel. The Sentinel living is incredible. Shimmer Orb down, the Commando Knob is just sitting in that Shimmer Orb area, protected from any kinds of range damage. The Wolf Spider is even going to use it as well himself. Lord General with the melter gun going to struggle against that Leman Russ, I believe. Leman should be able to easily defend off the Lord General's melter weapons. In fact, another heavy weapons team is coming out for Korn. A last cannon is needed against the Leman Russ. The Leman is the tankiest tank in the game by far with 800 HP. I know the other tanks do get to higher HP, but the Leman Russ also has a 30 to 35% damage resistance against everything, making it much more effective than what it is. The Commando Knob flying across the map here, trying to take down a Heretic squad, but going to be unsuccessful and will fall down once again, and it's going to be a very difficult spot for blue team to actually get a resurrection onto him as well. Weird Boy alone here for Hunter, does need to be a bit careful. Looks like he is fully upgraded here. You can see the Warp Head upgrade, can't see the other upgrades coming in though. Might even decide to throw his Orc units here onto the VP, although that's a bit risky at this point in time. But the Falcon is driving in. Looks like there might be some Banshees in here. In fact, no, the Banshees are on the VP, so the Falcon going in just very aggressively. And the Commando Knob is going to fly in. We're going to do some nice damage to one Shooter Boy's squad, but the Banshees are focusing down the Sluggers instead, so that squad will be able to live overall. Meanwhile, Chaos is also pushing in through mid at the same time. Mekboy is actually going to get sniped there by the Commando Knob. The Commando Knob may even benefit from actually upgrading to the shotgun rather than the knife. It's very difficult to make a melee hero work in 3v3, one that isn't as equipped to deal with melee units. Something that can't teleport, something that's not as tanky. But still, that Commando Knob is going to potentially go down here. That Chaos Lord gets a few more swings. Range damage might be enough, but the level up is definitely going to help out here. The Blood Crusher is also going to fall down. Banshee's going to engage the Chaos Lord. Chaos Lord with the armor and photo and Icon of Korn will be able to heal the damage that the Banshees are going to output against him. You know, Lord General is going to be pushing in here. That Leman Russ is remaining up. Double autocannons are here as well. I feel like a last cannon would have been the best choice against the Leman and against the Sentinel. The Sentinel is not as much of a problem as the Leman, but last cannon is just a bad choice, just to slow things down by 50%. Especially with the faster fire rate from the Lord General can be quite brutal, or even the sniper rifle upgrade to give the last cannon extra range. or even with the double auto cannons, give them the extra range equivalent to what a last cannon is, but as an auto cannon instead. Plague Marines on the field, able to tank quite a bit. The Commando Knob is flying in here, but it's actually going to miss the Heretic squad. It's very difficult to actually try and pull off the kaboom grappling hook combat. But also studying himself there. The Armored Inferno though, outside the base of blue team, catching out both a Guardian Weapons team and a Shooter Boy squad. Plague Marines are on the field, but there's a lot of piercing damage here for the blue team, and these Plague Marines will struggle against that much piercing damage. And another kaboom here knocks that Commando Knob all the way back, doing a significant damage to this Heretic squad, only alive because of the aspiring champion. Now Lord General is pushing through. Looks like Corn is going to be slowly pushing up with these auto cannons. Might need to push up a little bit more aggressively here, so you can actually cut full coverage of the VP. But another flare going to go down, going to catch out 3-4 squads even, including Lord General, and even a Rock's going to go down. Ooh, direct hit onto the Guardsman though. Now Lord General is also getting hit pretty hard, but it looks like all the squads and the Commander will live overall. Mekboy is also just walking through the rocks as if nothing's happened. I think the Commissar for that Guardsman squad also fell down in that game, in that rocks. Mekboy though teleporting away there to safety, and Manticore Strike going to hit quite hard, going to force the Guardsman to retreat away, but both with the Commissar upgrade can easily remain on the field, and I reckon Sentinel and Forcer should go for a bunker so you can actually reinforce Guardsman on the field. Spots is still alive for him, able to reduce the range of those auto cannons as well. Leman Russ is going to kite away, does have the Vanquisher cannon, very effective against single targets when it actually lands, obviously. Missing a shot by a mile there. Sentinel does need to be a bit careful. Slugs with power melee is quite brutal, especially when the stomp doesn't hit the Knob leader there. Mekboy teleporting in aggressively with the Beamy Death Gun. The Sentinel is going to get path blocks on that Leman and will fall down. In fact, the Beamy Loser is going to take the shot and finish it off. Stormtroopers only on 3 out of 5 models. And on that Vanquisher, Leman Russ having to pull back even further, and some Stormtroopers are coming in as well, but no energy for a Melter Bomb. Deciding to go for these Beamy Looters instead. Might be able to force them off, but Stormtrooper's going to throw a grenade here to try and counter it. These Melter Storms going to focus on those Beamy Looters, going to get forced off in the end, and a loose tank coming out for Tharx Gamma. The red team are in control now of the contested VP, and blue team will need to make a decent push against it. Tharx is actually down quite a bit, and it looks like another Commando Knob explosion or Commando Knob kaboom over there. He is level 6 now, has done quite a lot of work throughout the game, has died quite a bit, but has done quite a lot of work at the same time. And the Shimmerov for the Wart Spider going to be very useful in the later stages of this game, and even now in fact, reducing all range damage down to nothing. Makes it very difficult to prevent him from capping. You actually need to knock him back from range, or just go in melee combat, which is not always ideal. But the Looter tank here going to knock back these shooters. Wow, catching out 3 squads and a commander there. That Looter tank is definitely going to pay for itself at this rate. A flare going to go down once again. The entire army is now reduced, or has reduced range. Meanwhile, Da'ari coming out here of base. Also, cannon is going to set up there as a Wart Spider though. That could easily interrupt it, but these Chaos Terminators are going to prove difficult even for the Banshees to handle. Even their default state of power melee, not power melee, the power fists that they have are just so strong. And with 3,750 super heavy infantry HP, very difficult to actually finish. Meanwhile, second Leman Russ, is that another Vanquisher? That is a Vanquisher cannon. Once again for the Lemans, Vanquishers having longer range but only be able to hit down a single target at a time. Sentinel Force does have double Guardsman support for these 2 Leman Russes. Could even consider getting a repair bunker for them as well, so they can repair a little bit quicker. The double Vanquish is very effective against poking, although I feel like the default one may have been better against IG. And in fact, a bunker going down now. As mentioned, Flash gets also on the field, keeping them with their default weapon for now. The default weapon is going to be much better. Piercing damage is much more effective against infantry in comparison to the psychic damage that their blasters use. Blasters are more effective against heavy infantry blobs and super heavy infantry blobs. The Flash Gits with their default weapon are incredible against infantry, and especially with the Git Finders upgrade that's coming in now. Git Finders giving them extra range. But that double Leman Russ though, able to take down model at a time against those Stormtroopers, and Manticore Strike going to fall on top of the Looter tank here, and will be able to take it out. Flash Gits barely able to dodge it. That's a big loss though, losing a Looter tank like that. But Nob's going to be coming in. There's not much to actually stop these Nobs. There's no suppression in place. These Lemans might be able to do some nice damage here, but the super tough beam from the Mekboy going to make it very difficult for anything to even touch these knobs. 75% damage resistance, suppression resistance, everything you could possibly want for a melee squad is in super tough beam, and they get this around onto that Leman. These Lemans do need to be careful. This is a repaired bunker, so that it does give them a bit of tankiness here with repair on the field. These Lemans need to stop half blocking each other because it's causing some problems. That repaired bunker, I'd imagine, is going to get destroyed or taken over by the opposing team. The guardsmen are coming in for some repairs. These knobs are now in frenzy state. They do not take any damage and cannot be suppressed whatsoever. This Leman Rust is so low right now, it is definitely going to fall down. Surely these knobs are still chasing away, and the Leman is able to fall back enough and live. It was a level 2 Leman, nearly level 3. That would have been a massive loss to Sentinel Enforcer had he lost it, but is able to keep it up there. And a phase shift going to go down, but no Eldritch to follow it up. Red team though able to successfully push and regain the VP. Now they're going to start tearing down this IG bunker. The also cannon's actually missing the bunker somehow, or doing no damage. Oh, because it's actually been taken over by the red team. That's why it's doing no damage whatsoever. As soon as blue team take it down, though, the also cannon barrage or also cannon salvo will be enough to take it down. These stormtroopers taking a lot of damage. The flash is actually equipping these blasters. They do AoE damage as well. So blobs in general do need to be careful against that. And what Commando Knob is exploding himself once again. Does have that missile launcher. It's level 9 as well. Very impressive level for that Commando Knob. Banshee's just sitting behind some shot blockers here, but Chaos Terminator's going to start poking them down. Meanwhile, Double Lean Rust is back on the field, both fully repaired and ready to go. The bunker did not get taken down, so that bunker will carry on repairing the Leman Rusters for as long as it stands, and the Double Lean Rust gets to start poking away. Meanwhile, 2 also cannons in the area. Red team may need to wait for Noz to be able to push effectively, and a nice smoke shell going to stop that whole army. This could be a rocket run, but it's most likely a creeping barrage. The Foots of Gork going to go down, going to miss those flash gates. Had it hit, that would have probably been a dead squad. The Foot of Gork does plasma cannon damage effective against all targets, especially against heavy infantry and super heavy infantry. Can be absolutely devastating on a blob. Combine that with the Commando's Love to Daka ability and the Foot of Gork, and it could be brutal, more brutal than a Rocks, unless the enemy does retreat away in time. That Water Spider though getting it a little bit close here, and will fall down here, even gain a sync kill from the Chaos Lord, and getting tossed aside, but Doom is going to obliterate some heretics there. It needs to retreat away from that. No more worship support here, and those Terminators getting hit hard by 2 plasma grenades from these Dire Avengers. Banshee's a little bit overextended, forced to retreat away, but the Chaos Lord, though, with that kill on the Water Spider, is going to help out. And the Leman Rust is actually coming over to mid. Everything is coming over to mid. In fact, red team do need to be a bit careful. That Chaos Lord is going to go down. Chaos Lord is picked up by the Avatar and then thrown to the same spot where the Water Spider is as the Commando Knob goes in for the resurrection. And as much as red team are holding the area, blue team realizes it's easier to just take the natural there. Or blue team, Commando Knob is going to go in, is going to miss his combination, goes a little bit too far there with the Kaboom grappling hook combo. Knobs back onto the field though, and the Lord Commissar is going to use that power sword ability to knock back these knobs. The Commando Knobs, the Lord Commissar is so low. A Rox is going to go down here as well, going to hit those guardsmen fairly hard. Lemans are able to get out of the area. Foot of Gork also going to go down at the same time, doing plasma cannon damage, not the most effective on retreating units. Lord Commissar actually does fall. These knobs though are taking so much damage but are doing so much at the same time. The Avatar is getting a little bit low though, half health. No, half health isn't particularly low, but half health is a bit of a dangerous place for a super unit to be when so close to the enemy base. Manticore Strike, all the shots going to miss, all going to be in the same area as well. You kind of want to spread them out a little bit more. That also cannon is most definitely going to die as here as well. Oh no, the first grenade actually knocks them back, so they can't, they're not so grouped up for that second grenade. Had the grenades been timed a little bit closer, that also cannon squad would have gone down. The Tharx Gamma with knobs of his own now, nearly fully upgraded, have the huge hammers, have the meaner and greener most likely. Going to go for this Manticore, in fact, do have the knob leader now. That Manticore is definitely going to go down. A Rocks even on top. These knobs have frenzy, they need to use it now. Wow, the destruction is brutal. Guardsmen though going to be able to live overall. I think these knobs could have maybe stayed in combat a bit more, but they are level 2 now. They were level 1 when they jumped into combat. And the Commander Nob was actually in the base there. I didn't realize he was that far, but the Guardsmen will be able to live overall for Khorne on just barely any health. 15 HP I believe they survived on. Meanwhile, Nobs the Hunter trying to chase down a Seer Council. Anti-Seed still has not got any XP on this Seer Council whatsoever. And the Mekboy going to be healing up that Nob squad. Might even be time to consider getting a Pain Boy to give these Nobs the +1 speed from the Cyborg Implants upgrade. +1 speed for the Nobs really does help out, especially when you have Super Tough Beam and Frenzy as well to combine it with, and the pandas are falling so quickly. These Leman Russ, a third Leman Russ in fact, is out on the field for Sentinel Enforcer. 3 Leman Russes is a bit difficult to actually deal with since they are so tanky together. But at the same time very difficult to actually manage. You can see that Sentinel Enforcer is struggling to manage all these Leman Russes. They're all getting path locked on each other. These Guardsmen are not repairing as well. One Leman Russ is definitely to fall here. The also cannon from the Terminators, the Plague Ring Missile, the also cannon Havoc set up as well at the same time. This Leman Russ is so low, it is most likely going to go down. 16 HP, the also cannon is going to fire one more salvo. No, but the flare coming in, with the smoke shell coming in. The Plasma Guardsmen look like they're the ones to actually finish it off. Meanwhile, Hunter is pushing in. Those flash kits are so low. There's so much melee here. But it Nobs with the Frenzy. But Hunter should be able to win this if he has his Mekboy in the area. The Super Tough Beam should give him the edge. Those sluggers are definitely going to go down for Tharx Gamma. Meanwhile, Nobs are taking so much damage here as well. They are retreating away, but still the damage has been done. Losing a fully upgraded slugger away squad. Loose is barely able to escape as well. And 2 Leman Russes remain set up. One Leman Russ is level 3, the other is level 1. Commandos though, now out for Hunter. I could see a Lupta Daka with a Force of Gork ability, or combination rather. Meanwhile, the Lord Commissar is so low. It does have the stubbornness bonus, but there is just not many units to actually give him that full stubbornness bonus. And the Grain Clean one for Da'ari is coming in. This Avatar is taking so much damage right now. It does need to be careful, but the Wailing Doom is going to go down. It's going to catch out some Guardsmen here though. Not actually doing too much. It looks like the Lord General has the one that armor that gives him knockback immunity, which he actually does. But that Avatar is going to fall down in this engagement. 120 red. Seer Council going to be able to fight that Grand Clean one fairly well, but taking so much damage from range and unable to actually stand up against it. Meanwhile, Commanders with the missile launcher. Missile launcher is actually very effective against heavy infantry, super heavy infantry, believe it or not, against Terminators. It does 150 damage per free burst, and does hit super heavy infantry such as Terminators fairly frequently. Not that blue team have actually got anything like that, but it's going to be very effective against this Leman Russ spam as well. Can always flank it from the rear with the Commandos and the Commando Nob himself and get some decent hits, although Tharx Gamma is on the same team as Leman Russ, so ignore that. This also cannon squad though might get caught out by Kaboom, or these retreating Orc units might get caught out by Kaboom. It looks like he's going to go Manticore hunting since Khorne did repurchase his Manticore. One shot to the rear armor from that Commander Nob missile launcher is enough to take it out of a single shot. Commanders are actually flanking though this Leman Russ. Meanwhile, Tharx Gamma is actually going to be able to get the snipe here onto the Manticore. BbBoS pushing in a little bit aggressively here. I do want to see this one shot, one kill on the Manticore. Instead, the Commander Nob looks like he's going to go. Oh no, he's. If he'd fired regularly from behind, it would have taken out in one shot. But very nice. Very risky to always get Manticore against the Commando Nob in tier 3. Double Commandos though, really loves to Dakar. A stun bomb going to go down, going to catch out his own units here, but at the same time going to stun the remainder of Khorne's units. Kaboom going to go down here onto the bunker. Very nice use of it, unable to actually finish off the also cannon squad inside that bunker, and the 2 Leman Russes are still on the field. The flash kits are so low. The Commander Nob just flying off the screen here. He needs to retreat away. In fact, he's actually going to enter in a structure, but there's an Eldritch on top of all of this army here that's going to toss away a few units. The bunker just melting there. The also cannon, another also cannon squad is so low, down to just 49 HP. In fact, the Commandos are able to live. One squad that gained away with 20 HP. Very fortunate for red teams that so many squads that did live overall for them. Meanwhile, Nobs Hunter going to come in once again. A Chaos Predator is on the scene. At the same time, Bolt Spider going to go in for a decap here onto a natural of red team. Will be able to get it, but will go down himself. At the same time, these Nobs are chasing away the super tough beam onto the Nobs, level 3 as well. Going to be going in, still needing that Cyborg implant with a +1 speed, so they can actually chase down these Leman Russes a bit more effectively though. With these huge hammers gaining momentum with each swing, increasing their damage by 33%, well no, not 33%, by 8% per swing, up to 24% damage. Just swinging away here at these guardsmen, these knobs now with frenzy after the super tough beam has run out. They are so difficult to actually deal with, especially when it became level 4, like now 5,550 health of just regular heavy infantry with so many buffs for them as well, and that's going to be a dead guardsman squad, and the 3 Leman Russes are all firing away, all with, no, one does not have the Vanquisher cannon, this one's actually unupgraded right now, doesn't even have the elite tank crew. The other 2 do have the Vanquisher cannons. A flare going to go down here as well. 71 VP, so 179. The foot of Gork ability going to go down, so the Leman's going to hit hard. They're not going to do that much damage. Foot of Gork doing about 250 plasma cannon damage. More than what a plasma cannon shot would do if it hit directly. Very painful nonetheless. Meanwhile, red team have secured their natural VP. 71 VPs to 139. All the Lemans are just pushing in further forward, and Knobs for Tharx Gamma is going to go in. But only 4 out of 5 models here, they will struggle, especially against all the amounts of units that red team has. These Commando firing away. Slug is actually doing okay against these Knobs here. I know that they're in frenzy state. Super tough beam even onto the Commandos here. I feel like that should have been used onto the Sluggers that are going to be the ones fighting, and the Battle Wagon does push forward for Tharx as well, but the Grey and Clean one coming in for a flank. Not sure about this. Battle Wagon is taking so much damage. It is actually going to fall down so quickly here. This is a very short-lived Battle Wagon, pushing in far too aggressively here. Commandos with their missile launcher, Beanie, Mekboy. Battle Wagon is going to try and get away, but the Mekboy, he could probably teleport. No, he's getting caught on some terrain here. It's going to fall down. The autocannon is going to tear it down. Even the piercing damage is going to be enough, but no. The Plague Marines with the final shot ruin that Battle Wagon, but the triple Leman Russes though for Sentinel and Forcer still remain standing, but there is no repair bunker up. A repair bunker needs to go down, I think, when you have 3 tanks like that. Another avatar coming in for anti-seed, 71 VPs to 110. There's been so much death in this game, and wow, a squad of BB Looters is going to fall down to the Great and Clean one, along with the Chaos Lord helping out. If that Waning Doom was just a little bit later, would have had the chance to hit Hunter's entire army. This Avatar though is taking so much damage. A Grey and Clean one is destroying him in combat. A Grey and Clean one with more support. But Banshees and Seer Council though, so much power melee coming in, but the Grey and Clean one with some decent melee counters. The Avatar short-lived as well. Blue team are throwing away their super units here. Meanwhile, red team are able to keep theirs alive and protect it and support it a bit better, but the triple Leman Russes are definitely going to be a threat for red team still. But blue team, I feel like throwing away all their super units is going to cause problems later on as this game progresses and drags on. The Knobs though are going to be pushing in. That Chaos Predator should go down. That could be a rocket run, but most likely a creeping barrage instead. And one Leman showing rear armor here, but that Predator is so low, it's actually going to go down to a friendly creeping barrage as it drives in a bit too aggressively there. Commander has been tier 3 detectors, was going to be able to spot that webway gates there, and all these Lemans are backing away. They really need a repair bunker so that they can repair all 3 at the same time, but the Mekboy teleporting in very aggressively with the Beamy Death Gun. We'll be able to get one Leman Russ if these Lemans don't back away, but he's actually focusing down the one with the most health here. He needs to focus down the one that's lower. One Leman Russ so low, and the Beamy Mekboy is able to poke it down and finish it off. Meanwhile, the Commando Knob now upgraded with the shotgun, going to be more effective against the IG blob of Khorne and against all the, well, blobs in general, really. Shotgun is able to do so much damage that you can actually almost insta-give a a Guardsman squad. Meanwhile, Sentinel and Forcer though getting pushed all the way to base here. Double Commandos are pushing in. That Leman is so low. These Commandos could probably just infiltrate and go back in once again, but there's 2 Commando Knobs leading the squads. That's 300 damage from their missile launchers. Meanwhile, blue team are pushing in. 71 VPs to 58. This game has been incredibly close. There's actually 4 setup teams here for Khorne. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Fourth one coming out of base now. 2 last cannons by the looks of it. That should easily be able to, well, definitely scare off these Leman Russes. Sentinel and Forcer though, 540 power in the bank, but no requisition to go along with it. But these heavy weapons teams, if they all group up so close together, could be a risk for a nuke. Tharx Gamma with enough to actually drop down a rocks, and Sentinel and Forcer and Anti-Sea not too far away from getting nukes of their own with 300 red apiece. Flash gets though going to get forced off. Another Battle Wagon out for a blue team. Tharx does need to protect this Battle Wagon a little bit better in comparison to the one that he had earlier. the one he had earlier did get kind of thrown away almost. It felt like Stormtroop's going to go in, the Foot of Gork is going to go down, preventing these Stormtroopers from going in for the cap. Will take quite a lot of damage. That Lord Commissar though with the stubbornness bonus is not going to be enough here. There's just not enough units to actually support him. A bunker is going to go down for Korn, and there is a heavy weapons team with a last cannon able to gain some shots here onto this Leman Russ at the maximum arc range. Meanwhile, this Battle Wagon has already taken a lot of damage. Double commandos and knobs with the heavy melee is going to prove a bit too much for the Battle Wagon to actually handle 2,700 HP of vehicle armor, and even that is not enough. Detectors are coming in for Tharx as well. Could have just called in commandos instead as a tier 3 detector, would have had some more utility compared to a shooter boy squad with a knob leader. Meanwhile, Ari is holding down that red team natural as well. Meanwhile, Korn and Hunter are holding down the other side. Meanwhile, Sentinel Enforcer looks like he wants to just carry on poking away here. These Vanquisher cannons are hitting hard when they do land their shots. Commander Knob though, I feel like should have maybe change back to the missile launcher. You can change the weapons on the Commander Knob or on any commander for free, assuming you've already purchased them beforehand. A nuke is going to go down here onto the Leman Russes. The Commander Knob though is going to kind of throw himself away. Rocks onto Hunter's army though, and Hunter is not even dodging it whatsoever. He's going to get hit hard, and the Warp Spider is coming in for the decap as well, and that's going to hurt big time. And meanwhile, the Battle Wagon is firing away here. Will nearly kill off a squad there, but it looks like Warp Spider is going to be able to get the cap. The Weird Boy is trying to fire away. The Looter tank has gone down. The two Leman Russes are firing away, but the knobs are going in. They are level 4. They do have their huge hammers, but will get forced off in the end. That Weird Boy is a little bit low right now, level 4. The Battle Wagon has fallen for blue team. And the Warp Spider is going to find himself in melee combat against some guardsmen on top of the VP, but actually teleports forward. Does have that phase shift armor, but does not actually protect himself. It only makes the other units around him invulnerable, but it could be a good place for an Eldritch right now. Double shooters, in fact, for Tharx Gamma. I'm not sure why he's gone for double shooters, but so many melee units here, and the Rocks is avoided. That Fire Prism is a little bit too close to the Rocks. Should maybe consider driving out the anti-seed though with a very strong melee army. Very good at counter-initiating melee units as well. So much power melee. But 8 VPs though for blue team, 26 for red team. Things are so close. Meanwhile, Banshees and Seer Council are going to engage. The autocannon is going to set up, and Seer Council are going to struggle here against both Terminators and the Grey and Clean One. And even these Heretics, as much as they're still tier 1 units, they will still do some decent damage to Seer Council since they are only infantry armor. But 8 VPs to 19, the cap has been stopped now for either team. The Ari is pushing in hard onto the blue team natural VP. Meanwhile, red team look like they're trying to poise to actually get the VP here. Another creeping barrage for Korn by the looks of it. A lot of creeping barrage has been used. A lot of flares have been used as well in this game. Tharx Gamma is here to assist onto the natural. The autocannon going to set up, and Chaos Terminators with an autocannon themselves, and a nuke is going to go down, but it's actually going to miss slightly, anticipating the nuke. Tharx Gamma retreats prematurely, and it is an Eldritch going to go down as well. Although missing some of the sound effects though. Terminators will lose a model, but overall I feel like the Eldritch could have been used onto the other side instead. There's just so much death here. My computer's actually a little bit laggy if I look at that area, but red team able to get the cap there, but at the same time some sluggers from Tharx Gamma do get the secure onto the natural VP to even things out between blue and red team. 4 VPs they're remaining on. The red team are going to get the capture here on the natural. This Shimmer Orb is backfiring big time. Warp Spider has thrown it down. These Plague Marines cannot be touched. Seer Council and Banshee is going to go in. They need to land some specials here, and the Seer Council all jumping in. And the Warp Spider landing a special against the Plague Marines, but the Terminators with the cap here. Blue team, I don't think they can do it. Red team are going to win the game here. Wow. Red team are actually able to secure for win. Blue team unable to actually defend their natural, unable to hold this VP. They did manage to hold out a little bit longer by getting a secure onto the red team natural, but that is going to be game. Be sure to send your replays in on BbBoS, and I'm going to be off. Goodbye.